Welcome everybody. Another batch review, Matchbox 2024. This is mix number 11. This is the L case for 2024. Started off with number 3 in the mix. This is your Tesla Model Y. New casting last year. We've seen a couple colors. It's also been in a 5-pack already as well. But this is a brand new deco right here in blue for 2024. Technically, you could say this is the first edition, I guess, if you want to get technical with things. 2022 Porsche Macan, number 11 of 100. This model did debut last year, but it debuted as a Super. First time we're getting this as just a regular Mainline. This one happens to be in orange with some really nice 5 spokes on there, which looks good. Do like those details there. Very nice looking model. Next one up, we do have a recurring theme, number 23 of 100, the Ram work truck. This continues the Matchbox construction theme that they started with the 70th anniversary, 2023. So this one keeps rolling. We'll take a look at what unit number that is as we continue to roll through. Brand spanking new casting, number 38 of 100, 1964 Jeep Wagoneer. Brand spanking new casting for 2024. Highly anticipated. Been waiting for that one for quite some time. This was previewed a very long time ago. So very, very long time to actually hit a mix. Next one up, we do have another brand spanking new casting, number 47 of 100. This is your Blaze Buster 2. We have had a Blaze Buster before. This is a generic. It's fine. Brand new casting, though. We are going to see a lot more generics in 2025. So just be prepared for that. Kind of accept what's going to happen. All right, another brand spanking new casting right here. Number 54 of 100, 1985 Nissan Pathfinder. First generation Pathfinder in red. Another very, very highly anticipated casting for this year. Finally dropping. Can't wait to get that one cracked open. Really excited about that one in particular. Next up, 56 of 100, the MBX Field Car. This one has a throwback deco. Did show that one on the case unboxing for this. We'll take a look at that as well when we crack this open. That is a generic, but a nice throwback deco nonetheless. All right, next one up. This is our 1965 Ford C900, number 70 of 100. Well, it looks pretty good. I am pretty happy that Matchbox continues to offer some trucks in the Mainline, although this is the only truck we get in the Mainline. At least it is something. So they are sort of kind of working with the Convoy line, I guess, if you want to really stretch it out. All right, Tesla Model X, 75 of 100. Does get a nice little SpaceX card art on there, which is very, very cool. I do like the Neon City in the back. Looks very, very, very cool. Brand new deco, obviously, for this one with SpaceX on the side in solid black. That one looks pretty fancy, so pretty excited to get that one open. Next one up in the mix, we do have 84 of 100. This is your Citroen EC4. This actually debuted in the European Streets series, C-Case, I believe, a little bit ago. We knew this one was coming, but technically this is not the very first release, although actually it is the very first release. Very complicated. Next one up here, 92 of 100, the Renault Kangoo Express. This one looking average, looking pretty average. I do have a qualm with the card art with the solid body-colored front bumper, but unfortunately the casting itself has a black bumper, not a body-colored bumper, and that's, of course, because the casting is plastic on the bottom. And then the very last one in the mix, yes, this is a gigantic mix. Another brand spanking new casting, 2022 Jeep Wagoneer. Yes, we get old school Wagoneer, new school Wagoneer. The Matchbox affiliation with Jeep is ridiculously strong. They pretty much make every single Jeep. This one is no doubt number 97 of 100. Looking absolutely fantabulous. Let's crack them open and take a look. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick this off in no particular order. We're going to kick this off 2022 Porsche Macan in orange with the gunmetal chrome 5 spokes on it. Looks absolutely fantastic. Like I said, this one debuted as a Super. It was a kind of a gunmetal gray with some some prints on the side and stuff. Of course, rubber tires. It was a chase piece. Very, very interesting to get a debut casting as a chase piece. That typically doesn't happen with anybody, but looks good. We finally get a mainline version of this one. It's looking pretty fancy for full front and rear decos. Nothing particularly, standoutish or anything about it. I think the color is really, really good, though. Definitely dig the color. The color is definitely a welcome addition. Like I said, it is a new casting from last year, so MB1367 is the casting number, just in case anybody was curious on that particular one. All right, next one up. This one is our Ram work truck. This one is in the continuing 70th anniversary deco. We've gotten about 20 models, and they all have a unit number on there. We'll take a look at this unit number in just a second. But it continues the theme. I'm really, really happy. I think this is probably one of the better construction things they've done, although I'm a huge personal fan of Rannoch. However, we have not seen the Ram in Rannoch deco. I don't think we've seen it in ink deco either. But it's okay. It's okay. It's nothing particularly fancy, but it's a decent model nonetheless. This one happens to be unit number 26. So unit number 26 for this one, continuing the theme, continuing to roll on down the assembly line. All right, Tesla Model Y. Matchbox pretty much makes literally every single Tesla available, even some Teslas that are not available, like the Roadster. This one, nothing particularly fancy, Model Y. It is kind of designed nicely so you don't get a ugly post in the back. There is some metal underneath there where they put the post. You don't have that big ugly post in the back like most SUV or wagon style vehicles do with Matchbox these days. We've seen plenty colors on this one. Nothing particularly fancy, but blue's a new color, so we'll take blue. It's all right. Full front and rear decos, and of course those dark chrome D10s. Pretty standard quo for Tesla as far as that's concerned. All right, next one up. This is our Ford C900. Looking pretty good. This actually carries the same theme as the water truck that we got. I think it was either earlier this year or last year. So it actually carries the same deco theme, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm really happy that we get reoccurring decos on different models because it really helps to create some cohesion in the line. This one's pretty good. We've only seen a few colors so far in the main line. I'm sure it's going to debut as a actual convoy at some point. It does have the updated convoy hitch there in the back that hooks up and whatnot. It's a decent casting. I think it's good. It's basically just a shrunk down super convoy from back in the day. And then, of course, it has full front print on there, which I particularly like, which is pretty nice. Of course, there is your Kingston Pop. Looks pretty decent. It looks average. Looks pretty good. It's average. It's good, though. All right, another Tesla. This one happens to be the Model X. Not the moving parts Model X, but the regular mainline Model X. This one in SpaceX Deco. Nothing particularly fancy with it. It does have a 01 on the front. Clearly modeled for a shuttle of some sort that moves people around the SpaceX pad or something to that effect. This one does look pretty decent. It's got full front and rear decos on there. Looks pretty good. The rear decos are average, but the print looks okay. It does say SpaceX on the back as well. Take a look at that plate here in just a second. And then, of course, just the black D10 wheels on there, which is pretty nice as well. There is your deco on the back. So, a little deciphering of the plates for you guys. A little deciphering, nothing particularly fancy, just a little deciphering. All right, our Renault Kangoo. This one says Hula Beach Tropical Party Goods on the side. Again, like I mentioned with the card art, really disappointed that it's not color matched, but all that black bumper you see and stuff like that, that is part of the base, so they'd have to make the base orange, which I think is perfectly fine to get the body color in there, but you would also see a color difference between the print and the plastic. We all know that that's pretty much a guarantee. This model does not have an interior. Was designed without an interior, so it just has a black window. I guess you don't need an interior on it. It's just a commercial vehicle, but it's definitely a cheap move nonetheless. But I think the best deco of this particular casting is the shell one. At least in my own personal opinion, I do like the shell one. But this one is meh. Meh. It's meh. It's just meh. We're just going to leave it at meh. All right, brand spanking new casting. Really, really, really digging this one. First generation Nissan Pathfinder. As you can see, there's that ugly post that goes through the back. You can see it right through the back window. Unfortunate, but at least they got the spare tire on there, which is important. Full front and rear decos on this one. This one's a little bit wide, but I don't think the casting suffers from it. It just is a little bit of a wide casting. A little bit wider, a little bit flatter, but I think it looks just fine. It's a pretty cool addition. This is something that screams Matchbox to me. It definitely screams Matchbox. You know, Hot Wheels to do something like this, it would be like super modified and have giant fender flares and it'd probably be this huge off-road thing. And you know, but Matchbox makes just a bone stock first generation Pathfinder, which looks good. Even has the sunroof on there, those crazy triangular windows. It's just missing those crazy triangular wheels. That's all it needs, is just those crazy triangular wheels. It does say Nissan in the front grille, which is a pretty good addition. And then just basic taillight deets in the back, nothing fancy. This is a brand spanking new casting. 1443 is your brand spanking new man number. So they are rolling through with the good stuff. All right, Citroen EC4, like I mentioned, this technically debuted in the European streets. And when I unboxed that one on my channel, I did mention that that would be coming down the pipeline in mix number 11. And it actually showed up in mix number 11 like it was supposed to, which is pretty nice. Brand spanking new casting for this year, 100% brand new. This one is an average casting, pretty straightforward with this model, just like most crossovers or SUVs. Most of them from Matchbox, especially the crossovers, tend to be plastic top with no metal or anything like that. I don't necessarily think that that's a bad move, but I don't think that's going to apply to everything. I think they do that with a couple of castings that probably would look better with some actual metal or some actual print, but this one is relatively average either way. Full front and rear decos on this one. Says Citroen on the plate in the back. So deets are average. It's I mean, the casting's fine. Casting's fine. Certainly not something that's going to be crazy in the US. 1425 is your brand spanking new man number for this particular brand spanking new casting for this year. Another brand spanking new casting. This is the Blaze Buster 2. The original Blaze Buster was basically just a more traditional fire truck. Nothing particularly fancy with it. It's a plastic body. Pretty obvious that I'm sure people can tell it is plastic body. Metal base on this one. The blue window is an interesting choice. There's no lights or anything, so I don't really see why they needed to make it blue. Not a huge fan of that. The deco on the side, very toned down. Very toned down. We'll take a close look to that, but it just says fire rescue. Fairly certain that's just a generic deco, but it does have a metal base on this one. So the details on the back are relatively good. The details on the side. So this might be a licensed deco. That's definitely a different language for sure. Either that or it might be represented on a potential real deco. You guys can definitely drop the comments on your opinions on that. And then there is some details on the front. The top. And then the front end here. Just... it's not bad. It's not bad. It's a generic, but it looks like something that could realistically be rolling around a, maybe like an airport fire or something like that. There is the base deets. 1442 is your brand spanking new man number for that brand spanking new casting. Again, Blaze Buster 2. All right, getting down to the nitty gritty, we do have our Matchbox field car. This is a retro throwback. Matchbox has done a few of those this year. We do have some more down the pipeline. I hope that it's very prevalent in 2025. I will keep my fingers crossed, hopefully. But this one is pretty cool. This is actually a throwback deco from the kind of Ford Courier truck, the 4x4 Ford Courier truck for Aspen Ski Holidays. So there is your comparo there. This one is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, I really like the throwback decos. I don't really care which models they put them on. And this helps to keep from just, boring redundancy. I mean, this is a generic casting, so you're going to have a little bit, not even a little bit, you're going to have a significantly larger pool of available decos to use for this particular casting versus something else, just because it's a generic and they don't really have to go through the licensing process of getting, say, Porsche or Dodge or Jeep or somebody to sign off on something that maybe they don't want to sign off on. It's always possible. All right, we got two more brand new castings to roll out in this particular mix. 1964 Jeep Wagoneer, and no, your screen is not deceiving you. That is a bright lime green interior. The purpose of that, couldn't tell you. But yes, it is a bright lime green interior with a blue tinted window. Really odd choice for this one. The casting's fantastic though. Full front and rear decos, uses the disc hub wheels. The proportions are fantastic. Has a chrome base, which is a very big plus. Also has a tow hitch on it, which is very cool. That gives some good possibilities for this particular casting. There is some cargo in the back. I highly doubt that there's any kind of variation on this one, but there could be, potentially. But the proportions on this model just look really, really good. I just don't really understand the choice of a lime green interior. And when I tell you lime green interior, I'm not kidding. It is lime green. It may look a little yellow through the window, but it is a lime green interior. And I'm not really sure why they chose that. It's fine, I guess, but maybe there's something I'm not familiar with. There is your base deets for this brand spanking new casting. MB1444 is the brand spanking new man number for that particular one, and that brings us all the way to the current day for the very last model in this mix. This is a giant mix. There's 12 cars in this mix. This is your current 2022 Jeep Wagoneer. This one looks fantastic. When this model first leaked and pictures kind of first popped up, it looked very out of proportion. And I was really, really worried because this is a very large SUV in real life. And of course, you're dealing with Matchbox's blister. You can only fit it so much in the blister. I think they did an absolutely fantastic job. This casting is fantastic. Uses the bigger 6-spoke utility wheels to fill up, all that wheel well and stuff like that. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's got the passenger sunroof, got the glass top on it, full front and rear decos on it. It's got side mirrors on it. It even has a third row seat. Yes, that is a third row seat in the casting. There's a third row seat in there. And then the prints just looks good. The color's great. This casting has a potential for a very, 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 very long life in the Matchbox lineup. And I can't wait to get a little bit more modern decos on this, black with black wheels, or, black with some chrome, white, champagne, pearl white, a little bit higher trim, style setups. I'm really, really, really excited about this casting. I'm very, very, very impressed with this casting. It is definitely one of my favorites for the entire 2024. There is your deco details on the back. Looks very, very good. It does have that post, but it is hidden very, very well behind the third row seats. And then there is the prints in the front. Just says Wagoneer. There is your base deets for this brand spanking new casting. 1427 is your brand spanking new man number. And of course, it is 4-wheel drive. You can tell by the base, which is very, very good. So we will throw that guy on there. We will throw our throwback Wagoneer on there. And we're going to roll out with this particular batch. Batch number 11, Case L. One more batch to go to finish the year out. We are almost there. Almost trying to turn a chapter for 2025. And 2025 batch reviews are going to be significantly different. I think you guys are going to be happy. So we'll catch you next time on the very last batch review for 2024. And don't forget to subscribe. We'll catch you next time. Level in.